Hello, you guys.
Hello.
We're back.
Yes, we are.
Welcome to week 3 of InspireWorks HR Solutions HR Workshop, where we are here at the beautiful Nevada Partners and this awesome incubator with the UNLV Tourism Business Igniter program. How do you guys like the backdrop?
Yeah.
Amazing,
nice.
Amazing. This is a beautiful veterans sponsored, dedicated to our veterans. So thank you all for your wonderful services, and shout out to Elias with getting this done and accomplished. So let's give him a round of applause as well. Okay, so because we have these beautiful backgrounds, we are going to make sure that we go live for week 3 with our workshop. And what we're going to be talking about today is we're going to be talking about employee engagement, and we're going to be understanding how to set up your hiring and selection based off of the behaviors of the DISC model. How many are familiar with DISC? Awesome, great. How many of you actually know your DISC personality style? Okay, we have one in the room too.
No.
Oh, he's like, nada.
What do that mean? Yes.
Okay, so yes, that's what we're going to learn today. So we're definitely have your pen, piece of paper. We're going to dive into what DISC means. And by the end of today, not only will you be able to utilize the information to do your hiring and selection and your employee engagement, you'll also be able to identify your styles, okay? Because I'm going to give you a couple little tips on how to be able to identify that, okay? Sounds good?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to introduce us. We are InspireWorks HR Solutions. I am managing partner and CEO, Tiffany Ward, and this is my wonderful business partner and managing partner and COO, Dr. Melvin King. We are a SHRM certified firm. We have doctorals in organizational leadership. Well, I don't. He does. I'm not gonna act like I got it. He has it. We specialize in diversity, equity, inclusion, succession planning, documentation creation, and employee retention. That's what our firm likes to be able to take our pride in. We're certified DISC and emotional intelligence practitioners, and we are the HR consultants for the UNLV TBI program. So for all the participants, you guys have us, okay? But if you don't, you might want to sign up so you can have us.
Absolutely.
So today we're going to be focusing directly on DISC. And as being a practitioner, it is imperative for you to be able to know within business what types of personality styles that you're dealing with in your every day-to-day business. But then you also want to make sure that you have full buy-in from your employees so that you want to see them there for longevity. You do not want to have a short-term type of employee, because studies have shown that if every time that you hire and then have to rehire, you're actually losing a year and a half of salary for that particular position. So we want to make sure that the money stays in the business. So we want to be able to make sure we have the right people in the right seats at the right time. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I gave you all some amazing handouts for you. So we'll be diving into those during the process of the training. But first, I want to ask, we're going to go around and I want to know your name, because I do see a few faces, new faces in here. I want to hear your name. Is this new to you? And you just have to say yes or no. And what are you hoping to gain from this session? And then give me one thing off of your all about me, get to know me paper, okay? Just one. We don't need to. If you want to do, that sounds like a parrot. I think we got a parrot in the room. Well, how about we'll do this? We'll do 2, because we do have we'll have a nice intimate room today. Okay? Sounds good?
Yes.
Okay, so how about we have you start? Okay. So we'll have your name. Is this new to you? What are you hoping to gain from this session? And then 2 things about you that you would like for us to know.
I don't know the DISC yet.
Okay, what's your name?
Seclinda Anthony.
Sorry?
Seclinda Anthony.
Seclinda Anthony.
And what I want to get from here, networking, I guess other information that I'm just not aware of. I'm not too sure what that is just yet. My hobbies, I love t-shirt designing, my dessert, key lime pie.
Thank you so
Nice.
much. Key lime pie. I love key lime pie. Delicious. Great. And we'll go counterclockwise. How about that? We'll start with you. Yes.
What can I say here? Okay, my favorite.
Let's start with your
candy is
name.
bubblegum.
We'll start with your name.
Oh, my name is Mel Brian, and I'm actually from Panama. I live in Las Vegas for over 26 years. And,
Very nice.
I love bubble gums, and my hobbies. I love working out. I love outdoors, planting, riding a bike, hiking.
Perfect.
Nice, awesome.
Thank you. Okay, and we'll go next.
Me next. My name is Denzel Cunningham. Dessert, I say Snickers ice cream.
Ooh,
Snack, Ritz cheese crackers, candy, Skittles. My drink of choice, a Celsius. I like to drink it before I go to the gym. Restaurant, Yard House. Let me see. I'm happiest when I'm with my wife. My hobbies, fashion,
beautiful.
wife. I like to be rewarded with people that are driven. And I work best when I'm alone. And the gift cards, all those gift cards go to my wife.
see, I'm glad I didn't stop him. Great job. Thank you. And is this new to you?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Okay,
Nice.
perfect. Thank you so much.
My name is Miriam Martinez. DISC is not new to me. My weakness is potato chips, but I try to stick with the veggies and the fruit. And that's helped me a lot to lose some weight. So I'm happy with
Wonderful.
that. What was the other?
What are you hoping to gain from this session?
Oh, just some folks to guide me and teach me and how to be a better business person. Because I used to be a serial entrepreneur and an employee for 30 plus years.
Well, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
And thank you for your dedication for really, there's a lot of you that have been here since week 1. I thank you so much for continuing to come in and be prepared to work and keeping us enthusiastic about it.
Mhm.
Like you guys are motivating us just as much as we're motivating you. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, well,
Hello, everyone. I'm Barjay Lucky. I'm not new to this, but I'm trying to identify who I am in the DISC roles. A hobby/interest. I love inspiring others, and I love everything in the beauty industry. And what I want to learn and gain from this program is to have my correct documentation and set. So when I do want to start doing contracts with certain people, depending on whatever it is, I want to have all my contracts in place.
awesome. Thank you so
Wonderful. Thank you.
much.
I want to know exactly what you're asking. My name, is this new to me?
Yes.
And what else?
And what are you hoping to gain from the session?
Okay.
And then 2 of your get to know me's.
There we go. Name, Robert Payne. Yes, this is new to me. What I want to get out of this is self-awareness. Actually, I think I've been to the second class. Actually, because I didn't really know the class for that, but I'm glad I did.
Good, yes.
And the things about me, I'm happiest when I'm getting along with family at gatherings. And my hobbies, bowling, networking, shooting pool with children and grandchildren.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Thank you. And last but not least.
Yes, my name is Rodney Hines. This is new to me. This is my first class. So what I'm hoping to gain from this insight, wisdom, that'll help me along the way, whatever role I choose to be in. Insight.
Perfect. Thank you. And a couple of your get to know me's.
I love bean ice cream,
Mhm.
triple Hoy moist cookies and milk.
I love how you get the moist.
Yeah.
Yes.
Juice. Yeah. And,
I like pineapple juice. I can drink that every day, all day.
Watching TV, ESPN, basketball, stuff like that. Enjoying myself.
That's amazing.
Wonderful.
Awesome. Well, thank you and
Thank
welcome.
you. Welcome.
Great. So this is a great, fun, interactive, ready to learn, eager to learn group. So I'm very excited for that. Are we going to have our guest over here as well? I'm not sure if he's working with us or not.
Brian, do you
Are you working with us, Brian? He's like, kind of, maybe. Okay. No worries. He wasn't prepared. No, it's okay. Because, well, actually, he was knee deep in. He was going in. Yes, he was. So my apologies. No worries. Okay. So I'm so excited to be able to teach these things to you guys. Like, this is my passion. I was actually introduced to it at a job that I worked for. It was a business coaching firm. And during my onboarding process, they said, okay, the second part of your interview was going to be this assessment. They didn't tell me what it was. They just sent me a link and I took the assessment. I was like, okay, well, I don't really know what this means, what's most like me, what's not. I mean, I'm just going to answer as best as I could. And then it said, thank you. And I didn't get anything. So when I actually, started the position, I was about a month in and I was like, hey, what was that thing that I took when I first took this assessment? And they're like, oh, it was like a DISC assessment. I'm like, can I have it? Can I see what the results were? And they were like, yeah, sure, you can. We never really had anybody ask for it, but sure. So as they found the information for me, gave it to me, I found out I understood after reading it why I asked for it, because I'm an owl. So I wanted to know the details of what I just gave you. I want to know about me. I mean, so it was like, once I looked at it, I was like, wow, how did this thing read my whole life in 15 minutes? That's all it took was for me to take that assessment, was 15 minutes of just focusing on what I like, what I don't like, what's good about me, what's the least, what I like least about whatever my behavior is. And it showed me not only what motivates me, what type of characteristics I have, how to talk to me, how not to talk to me, what am I driven by, what type of style am I? And what it said was, I'm a coach. I am meant to be in front of people, teaching them how to be able to better understand whatever situation I have bundled up for them. So I decided I wanted to learn how to teach this. So I looked at the opportunity to get certified in DISC. And so I can be able to articulate and relay the information to people so that they could better understand themselves. And what I love about our community is it was so embracing of the idea of knowing this, because this is what Fortune 500 companies use. Fortune 100, Fortune 500. They were not handing these to small businesses. They were showing colors, and colors is good, but it doesn't dive as deep into who you are. It kind of gives you a box that you get to be put in. DISC is in a box. It's a whole world. It's a whole circle of things that you get to not only learn about yourself, but how to be able to leverage them. How can you utilize them? How can you utilize your personality styles to build rapport with people? How do you utilize it to build an identity based off of the positions that you want to see within your organization and the roles that you want to be able to play? Okay. So,
and we also have to remember, and to that point, because she said it's a whole world, right? And a world is a what shape? It's a circle, right? DISC is a spectrum. This is a spectrum, right? Meaning that who you are in this space when you present yourself D, I, S, or C doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be that same person 6 months from now. Right? So it's a spectrum. You are who you are in that moment based on your external and internal circumstances. And that's what we're going to be diving into today.
That was great.
You're great.
I appreciate that. So what we are going to do by the end of today, I want you to be able to have a change in thought process of how you are seeing people. Okay. So a lot of what we typically do, I don't know about your households, but mine's as growing up, we use the golden rule, which is, how many knows the golden rule? Exactly.
There you go.
Treat people the way that you want to be treated. You want to be kind, you want to be giving, you want to be caring. And that does work. Does it work in communication? It can work about 25% of the time, because you can communicate with others the way you want to for the people that actually speak like you. But what about the other 75%? Okay. So what we would like to do is we want you to think more of the platinum rule, which is treat others the way that they want to be treated. And how do you do that? It's by you getting to know them. You getting to know verbal cues. You getting to know nonverbal cues. Some people may not be as willing to open up and talk about their life and their childhood traumas on day one. But then you have those that are a complete open book. And guess what? Neither one are wrong.
Mhm.
They're both okay to understand and move forward with, based off of the pace that they like to either open up or retain information. Okay.
Mhm.
So we're going to teach you what that all means. Okay.
Mhm. Out of curiosity, who knows here how what percentage of nonverbal communication we receive from an individual?
Can you say it again?
So when we're standing there conversing with somebody, obviously, we're speaking, right? But that's a certain percentage of engagement. But what percentage of engagement do we receive from somebody that is nonverbal? It's about anywhere between 70 to 85% of nonverbal communication we experience from an individual at any given point in time. So it's very important to remember that not just our words, but our actions and our body language also plays into that factor. And being aware of how you're conveying those things through the DISC model can help you better even adapt your body language to be more effective in your communication.
Yes. And I mean, even think about this. How many, all of us have worked a job at a point, right? And somebody at a job has said something to upset us. We refrain with our words, but our body language speaks volumes. So what we do is we're able to teach we give the opportunity to teach you how to not only identify what personality style that they are by their verbal cues and nonverbal cues, because what it can do is we're trying to eliminate that opportunity for tension. We're trying to eliminate that opportunity for miscommunication, because when we bite our tongues, it's because we can't communicate. We don't feel open to speak what we feel like expressing. And that's another thing I'm going to teach on the next one, is a whiffle. And that's what I feel like expressing. That's a great opportunity to make sure that miscommunication isn't blurred when it comes to your organization. So I'll teach you that on week 4, or probably even the panel. So what we're going to be doing, our learning objectives today, we're going to be recognizing the characteristics of each of the behavioral styles. So I'm going to dive in deep into each of them. Okay. Is that okay with you all?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Then we're going to help you identify your own style. Then you're also going to be identifying the style behaviors of others. And then we're going to be developing thoughtful practices and deliberate adaptability for improving that communication. Okay. Sounds good? All right. All right. So we want to see, what is DISC? Okay. That's a good question, right? So who thinks they know? We did. So based off of your last training, what do you know about DISC?
First time.
Yeah. So we'll get to you in a second. And that's okay.
And it's okay.
And
Remember,
it's okay.
what percentage of information do we retain after hearing it for the first time? There you go.
There you go.
20%.
He said 1.
Exactly.
Well, I can give my version of how I took in the meaning of this. This to me is learning the different personalities and the different roles that can play in business, personal life, relationships, just any aspect. You just know the difference of them. If I explained it right.
Kind
Adaptability skills.
It is a great adaptability skill.
Very true.
It's really a superpower. Okay, so the thing is that DISC is a needs motivated type of value that we have as individuals. Okay, so this helps you identify what things that you see as priority and how different people value that priority. Okay, so some people may be task oriented, some people may be people oriented. We're able to help identify which priority, which one needs what, and how are we going to be able to accommodate you if you're a people-oriented person, how we're going to accommodate you if you're a task-oriented person, and what, so that we can be able to increase productivity, so we could be able to retain that top talent, and we can get a better identification of potential leadership within the organization. Okay.
So this is basically coming from you're talking about from an employer point of view.
This will be coming from an employer point of view. Today's practice will be coming from that, but you can apply this definitely 110% to your everyday life. But understand that we all have, even though we have all 4 core styles in us, which we'll be diving into, we have our natural environment and we have our adapted environment. All of us right now are in our adapted environment. There could be things that you may want to relay and get out. We would refrain because we're at the front of we're at the front speaking. But then there also may be things that I feel like, oh, I could just go on and tell you and just be an open book about, but I have to refrain because I'm in my adapted environment right now. My goal is to teach, not to be my parrot, not to be the happy, bubbly, like, the goal is to be able to get the information across to you. Okay. So this shows you it helps you identify which needs are yours so that the employer can identify that without having to figure it out 6 months down the line. Okay. And so what the actual assessment does, it observes the behaviors and the emotions. What makes you tick and how does it make you tick? What's your reactions? What's your cause and effect? If my employee is motivated by a diplomatic style of leadership, if they're motivated by that, what's the reaction when they don't have that? They could feel loss of. They could end up feeling loss of structure, which could make them reluctant to change, which can make their productivity go down. We're able to identify. Yes.
You said the employer.
Uh-huh.
You said get out.
Oh, yes. So the DISC assessment, what you're able to utilize it for is it's observable of the behaviors and emotions of the person that's taking the assessment. So instead of you having to worry about learning this 6 months down the line, that this person needed more structure, or they needed more of they needed more things delegated to them versus having a free range of deciding what they would like to do in their position. It makes you have an opportunity to understand your employee better. Okay. So the great thing about this is that as I mentioned, you have your natural environment and you have your adapted environment. It is a combination of your nature and nurture. So it's about what you inherited and what you've learned. So based off of your new skills, that's where your adapted environment comes in. Your natural environment is usually who you are. Just, this is who I am when I wake up. This is how I am when I'm at home around the most comfortable people. This is what I'm going to be able to identify. But then you have your adapted environment, and that can change anywhere, anytime circumstances change, whether you're if your kids grew up and they moved out of the house, if you're going through a divorce, if you're changing your job position, your adapting environment fluctuates all the time. So the assessments, when you're able to utilize these as a employer, you'll be able to notice certain verbal cues and nonverbal cues from your employees. And if you see a change or a shift in something that they have going on, have them take an assessment again, see if their personality style changed. And if it changed, what do we need to do to help motivate them to get them back to the position where the position is more effective for them, where they're still motivated by it? Because the last thing you want to do is lose top talent because you were either afraid to communicate with them or you did not have the ability to be preventative and proactive.
And this is something that would be overt. What you will tell your employees what you're doing. This is why you're doing it.
Absolutely, yes. You would let them know. The great thing about this is it does it in a non-biased way. So it's not like you're giving them the assessment to say, hey, I'm going to try to learn you because I want to make sure that I sabotage you or something like that. You can't trick the assessments. You can't, especially like I'm going to teach you all how to do it and identify it without actually taking an assessment first. But when you take an actual assessment, it's foolproof. Of course, nothing's never 100. If you're honest with yourself, it's not a test. It's an assessment. It's about what you perceive of yourself. What type of behaviors do you most exude? What type of feelings do you most exude? What type of emotions do you mostly give off? And if you're honest with yourself, it's a game changer. I can tell you, once I got a part of this, it changed my life. Okay. The one thing that it's not, as I mentioned, it does not measure, the actual assessment does not measure intelligence, skills, education, or experience. Okay. Literally not a test. So we like to take that test anxiety out of it. Feel comfortable with learning more about yourself and get excited to learn something about yourself that you really didn't know. There was things on there when I seen it, like, oh my God, yes, that's right. I don't like that. That's right. I am motivated by that. It helps. Another thing is it's not an indicator of value. So it does not measure if a person is a good person or not. What it does is it teaches you the personality style. That's it. Okay. Okay. So what we're going to be diving into is, I know you all understood the eagle, the parrot, the dove, and the owl, right? But do you know what D, I, S, and C are?
Yep.
Now you do, because I went too far. So the eagle is the high D. That's the dominant style. Oh, I went backwards. Sorry. They are their core style is problems and challenges. They're the ones that like to win no matter what. They're the ones that's gonna, anything that you bring to them, they're gonna try to help you figure it out. By the end of your conversation, they're gonna have some type of action, some type of results-oriented reaction to what you were saying. Okay. The influence style, which is also known as the parrot, they're more of the people in context. That's why they're a parrot. They're the ones that like to, be in front of people. They want to network. They want to see people smile. They like to think of the glasses half full. They're energy driven people. Okay. The steady style, they're the ones that like to deal with their pace and consistency. They like to go here. They don't like this. They don't want to rock the boat. So as long as things are structured and stable, they are so effective. But if they switch up something, if something goes, if we're not starting at 1:00 and we're starting at 1:30, oh no, I already have my schedule. It can really throw, especially under stress. Under a normal circumstance, they'll be good. But when you start seeing the issues behind their core styles is when they're under stress. So when you're able to identify their styles, don't focus on them when they're at their best. We want to pay attention to that body language when they're under stress. Okay. Oops. And then we have the conscientious style. That's the owl. And a lot of people go with they rather say owl because conscientious. So I try to say that 3 times. Right. And they're the ones that are more of the procedures and constraints. They're the ones that like to, they're the logical ones. They're the ones that want to think logic over reason. I understand you have the feelings, but what are the rules? What does this paper say? Now you see why I said the owl? There you go. All right. And they're the ones, that's why they have them as owl. What is it? Questioning. Who? Okay. They're the ones that have the most fear and concern. Not necessarily like, oh my God, I'm scared. It's like, no, I want to make sure I'm making the right decision. What does that mean? And why are you saying what you're saying? So it's not necessarily like the actual, think fear of, but we might be doing that in our head because I'm an owl too. Shout out to the owls. Do anybody have any questions about the core styles of identifying them? Okay. You got anything you want to add?
No.
You learning too?
No, I already know what I am.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
For you, yes. You're definitely, you are a, okay, so let's dive into your style really quick. Okay. When you took your assessment, what did yours say?
So in my adapted environment, I am a DI. Problems, challenges. I'm going to help you find a solution, or I'm going to help you find the resources to find a solution. And also, I'm a people person. I can talk to anyone about anything because I believe in being well-rounded. If I know a little bit about everything, I can talk to anybody about anything, right? But in my natural environment, it's a little bit inverted. I'm more of a still people person, but I'm also more steady. I don't like rocking the boat. I like peace in my house. I like to, maintain, stability. And then that whole dominance factor actually drops for me. And then conscientious, I've just never, I'm not a big fan of constraints. I don't believe in constraints because I always feel like there's a way around an issue or a problem at any given moment. So for me, it's a little bit inverted.
Yes. And see, and that's actually what we all deal with. That's why we know that having all 4 core styles is actually our superpower. What we want to end up doing is becoming a chameleon, which is learning that adaptability, learning when to turn one on and when to turn one off. And you can do that based off of looking at a person, understanding that I'm dealing with a high S right now. I'm dealing with a high S. I'm going to now not speak as a task-oriented thing because once you learn the styles, steady styles, if you give them something that is a task and then you start kind of tearing that task apart of the things that they could have done, they're going to take that as a personal attack. And so what that can do is that can make them revert. That can make them shut down. That can make them start gossiping about you to other people because they're not going to tell you that you're a problem. They're going to go tell somebody else that you're a problem. So that can cause workplace conflict. So our goal is to be preventive and proactive. So understanding the styles and understanding that, okay, now I know. So an alternate way of utilizing a steady style is saying you did a great job on this. What I would like to see in this is just maybe a little bit more notes. Give them more of a constructive encouragement versus telling them they did something wrong. Okay. So, and we'll get into that too as well. Okay. Any questions so far? Nope.
Remember, spectrum, right?
Yes.
We are adapting to our environment.
Kind of got it because
Yeah.
you never know what business you're in. If this is like you say, spectrum.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
100%.
I was wondering if there was a 5th bird. The gentleman before. Is there a 5th bird? Because I know I'm like all for it.
That's a chameleon.
And you said a chameleon. I said, okay, I know when to shut things off.
Yeah.
Yes.
But even
Absolutely.
still, at any point in time, you're not going to be exhibiting all 4.
Yeah. No.
You're not. Because
only Oprah has the one that's where hers is even.
Mhm.
and she still can't exude that style at one time.
Exactly. Like even my C is more prominent whenever I'm doing grant stuff. I have to be aware of all constraints and restrictions that exist within grant space, so then I can help organizations and businesses implement the grant effectively. So that whenever I'm in that space, my C is very high. So it's adaptability in the given instances. Remember, we do have all four within us. It's just in that given moment, what is more presented versus latent or repressed.
Yes. Yes. And then also not only paying attention to yours, what is that primary and secondary, but learn you, but also learn how to utilize the ones that you're the lowest at. If you have your identification, like, oh yeah, I'm a like me, I am a parrot owl, but I get along really, really well with eagles and doves, because that's my lowest. So I mastered how to be able to communicate with those two styles, because I wanted to be able to build rapport with them. I've already know how to build rapport with people like me. So now I become a chameleon. I can shift and have a different conversation with you than I can with you, and you both feel the same way.
Exactly.
Okay.
She's a parrot dove.
No, I'm parrot owl.
I mean parrot owl. My bad.
Yeah.
I'm an eagle parrot. When she speaks to me, she knows that she needs to get directly to the point.
Yeah.
I don't. When I'm in my eagle mode, I don't need the fluff. I don't need the all that extra stuff. I do need my dove. My parrot comes out when you first come up to me. Hey, how are you? How are you doing? I'm well, thank you so much. Now let's get to the point, right? That's how my eagle shows up, right?
Yeah, I think I'm a dove eagle, and I think my least will be that owl, and then I think the parrot, and then the owl. I think the owl is the.
Well, let's figure it out.
Find out.
Let's find out. Y'all ready to find out?
Yeah.
All right. Well, first, what I want us to do, I want us to stand up and get ourselves, because we're kind of sitting down for the last session, and we're sitting down now. Let's get up and stretch really quick, okay? All right. Okay. Yes. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna give ourselves a nice quick stretch, arms up. Okay. We're gonna go to the left. Okay. We're gonna go to the right. Gonna give ourselves a nice neck roll. So gently. Nice shoulder shrug. Exactly. Okay, I want you to take a nice deep breath in and release. All right, that feels good, huh? Okay, have a seat. Thank you. Just want to do that nice and quick. I'm like, yeah, it gives you, because now we're about to, now we're getting to the good stuff.
The fun stuff.
Okay, so I'm gonna help you all identify your styles right now. Okay, so grab a pen, piece of paper. You can kind of go through what I am. This quick little exercise, okay? Okay. When you're identifying your styles, you want to ask 2 questions. And this is talking to other people, right? Is the person I'm talking to open or guarded? Or are they direct or indirect? So that's paying attention to verbal cues and nonverbal cues, okay? Open or guarded. That would be your what? Verbal or nonverbal? No, we're talking about verbal cues and nonverbal cues, okay? So if you're asking the person, are they open or guarded? What is that? Is that your verbal cue or your nonverbal cue? There you go. Okay. And direct and indirect will be your verbal. Okay. So is the person I'm talking to open or guarded, direct or indirect? Okay. What I want you to do is on your paper, I want you to do a cross, kind of like the 1, 2, 3, 4 ABCD that you see right there in the middle. And now I want you to all ask that question about yourself, okay? But first, we're going to do at the top. Who's everybody ready? Oh, we do a cross right in the middle of the page. Or just any page you
Doesn't
want to
matter.
use.
Anywhere you want to.
Yeah. Yeah, just you. Yeah, this will be just a part of the practice. Yes. Open direct or indirect.
So you're gonna draw a cross.
Oh, he didn't get one.
On your paper.
Yeah, can you grab
Yeah,
one?
I got it.
Yes.
Who else think you didn't get one? You get one?
Yeah. It's just this one's just a part of the practice. You don't. There wasn't a paper. This is impromptu. My apologies. Yes, you could do it on your own paper.
It's
Yes.
out of it's out of order. 1, 2.
You could do it on your own note paper. Okay, so do the same as you see where the dominance, influence, steadiness, conscientious. Do that on your cross. DISC.
Mhm.
Or you can use the eagle, parrot, dove, owl. Okay. From that, yep, that square.
A small one, though.
Yes.
Put something else in there.
Yes.
What do we do after the cross?
The cross, you're gonna put in the sections, the 1, 2, 3, 4 of your sections, DISC. Yes. Okay. Let me see yours. DI.
Let's see. Yeah.
No, I want to make sure he has them correct. D on this side.
On the right side.
Yeah, on the right side. Yeah. Have it. Yeah, start it clockwise.
So you
Yes.
So
Yeah.
your D is
Yeah,
going to
have
be
it
in your
going
upper right.
clockwise. Starting with the upper right.
D is going to be in your upper right. I is going to be in your lower right.
S is
S is going to be in your lower left.
Okay.
And C is going to be in your upper left.
Yes, that's why I wanted to make
So
sure
you're gonna
because
go
then you'll
clockwise
be
and spell-
confused.
Spell disc.
Starting clockwise, upper right. Yeah.
We put it next to it, right next to the.
Let me see.
Just in the upper quadrant.
Yep,
is
yeah,
fine.
just upper quadrants. That's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah. Okay. You all ready? Okay. So you're gonna write guarded up top, right above, right in the middle, just like how it is there. Right in the middle of
So right where your
right where your
line
T is,
splits the two quadrants.
right
you're
over
gonna
top
write
of it, put guarded and open at the bottom. So at the top, guarded, at the bottom, open.
So would it be like guarded right here?
Up top,
Up
all
at
the way at the top.
right
Yep.
there. Yeah.
All at the
That's
top.
where
Yep.
guarded would be. There you go.
Yep, have it just like
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, I just wanted clarification.
Awesome.
Okay, now to the right, you're going to put direct and indirect. Right to your right, direct, to your left, indirect. Okay, sounds good? Okay. Let me know when we're ready to move forward. So-
Anybody need help with
yeah,
their?
yeah. Does anybody need any assistance?
Anybody need any assistance? Closed mouths don't get fed, so ask for help if you need help.
We're working on it.
I'm like a little off.
You know, that's funny. You know how many times we hear everybody say, "Oh, I'm a little bit of everything." Yes, you are. You are a little bit of everything.
But so then what we want to do is we want to think about a certain scenario.
Yes.
And what we're going to do is we're going to think about how you are when you work.
Exactly.
Okay. So we're going to think about how we are when we work. Okay. So everybody has this written down. Perfect. Okay. So now we're going to do process of elimination. How many of us, raise your hands, how many of you believe that you are guarded? And who actually, understands what guarded is? Like, yep. Not necessarily.
Secretive.
You want to explain the?
Guarded is more so when if somebody approaches you or you approach somebody, you're the type of person who is more likely or inclined to sit back and listen to somebody else talk versus you divulging information, right? When you walk up to somebody and say, hey, how are you doing? And that person's like, oh, I'm doing wonderful. This morning I went up and I got coffee. And then from there I went to the bank and blah, 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 blah. And you're the one sitting there. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. That's interesting. Well, how about you? You know, my day was pretty good. You know, not too busy, not too crazy, not too hectic. And that's it.
That's
That's
it.
all you tell.
Yeah.
That's the guarded person.
Could it be someone you know or a stranger?
Someone
Yep.
you know or a stranger, either way.
So think about how you are at work.
Yeah.
If someone walks up to you that you've never met, let's think about those. Not the people you've been friends with for 20 years. It's gonna feel different because they've had a chance to be able to open up to you a little more. So you're gonna feel a little more comfortable with them than you would if it's a new person. Okay. So
See, I'm like, it depends, like how.
and it is situational.
One person, but if you give me that energy, then I get guarded. So how would you identify that?
We'll get there.
We will get there.
So which one the most? On
The
base
most.
the most.
The
Which
most.
one are you
Exactly.
most of the time?
Right.
Okay. So you're gonna circle. I want you to
Exactly.
circle that one. Whichever one. Guarded. If you're guarded, circle it. If you're open is just exactly what it sounds like. Being an
Exactly.
open book. I'm okay with sharing with you whatever it is that you want to know. And I may even volunteer it to you. Okay. So if you're open, circle that. If you're guarded, circle that. Okay. Now we're going to go with direct and indirect with your communication. If you are direct with your communication, you're going to come in. I need this done at this time, doing this. Okay. If you're indirect, indirects are more of a must.
Not necessarily.
They're very subtle in their
Yes.
approach. They don't really
They're not a boat rocker.
they don't shake the table. So they're like it's more of a kind of hinting, or I'll let you know that I have an issue.
It's like, man, I
Yes.
have all these groceries in my trunk. I
Walk
wish
on
somebody would help
eggshells.
me. Right? That's an indirect person. Yeah. Right.
See me, I'm more of it can depend on the situation if I'm going to walk on the eggshells. But if I see that I have a style in front of me that walks on eggshells too, my goal is to make them feel a little more comfortable so they can open up. Okay, because we're going to learn about that in a second. I don't want to go too far in and make it where I'll confuse you guys. Okay, but so out of right now, which one would be you? More direct or more indirect? Even so, I'll give an example of an indirect scenario. Like if I'm talking to Dr. King and I'm like, hey, you know, we have this HR workshop coming up. Oh man, I got so much I need to print out, but I gotta finish up a whole nother project, man. I mean, it would be nice if I had somebody to help, like print those out for me. That would be so nice. I'm expecting him, especially with him being a high D, see a problem. If I'm going to keep beating around the bush, I'm like, do you want me to just do it? Would you? You're so sweet. You're the best. That's what that turns into. But that's an indirect way of showing someone that you need the help instead of just saying I need help.
Exactly. Say what you got to say.
And that's
But
more.
that's me.
And that's more so under stress. The indirect people, most of the time, probably won't even say anything. They'll just do it themselves.
Exactly.
They'll be like, yeah, you know what? I could just have them do it. I'm not gonna bother him. I'm just gonna do it myself. That's another indirect way of behavior. Okay, so if you know you're like that you're like, I know it's gonna get done if I just do it myself, then you're indirect. Okay. Yes.
What if you become indirect because you just don't want confrontation or to actually start knowing that you will definitely tell the person, hey, I need help because that's how you are. But because you know the person, let's say an example, it's a trouble person, you'll turn around and not say anything and then just do it and expecting that when they see you, they'll come and help. So then do you put that as an indirect or not?
Yeah, you would, yes, you would have that in a direct approach. Yes, you would have that as more of an indirect way because you are still not verbally letting something be known that you have it, that you need help or you have an issue, because you have a fear or concern of the reaction. So I would.
Or
So
you're not quite sure.
you're not.
Sometimes you're not sure if you've been through traumatic experiences.
Yeah, and how the response will be. You're not sure of the
Exactly.
response or reaction or interaction, what could happen moving forward.
And that's another
So
trauma supervisory
So-
on that at some point too, because everybody should be a trauma-informed supervisor.
absolutely.
So thank you for mentioning
110%.
that. So we'll definitely dive into that space in the future
Yes.
as well.
So everyone has at least 2 of those. You should only have 2 circled, not 4, because otherwise we defeat the purpose of the exercise. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. So now we're going to do process of elimination. So if you are guarded, you're going to get rid of, you are not a high I or a high S. Process of elimination. And this is only one of your styles. This is only one of your core behaviors that you can be able to identify, okay? So if you're guarded, if you've identified guarded, you can't be open, right? So you have to eliminate the 2 bottom ones. Just for this scenario.
Just for this exercise.
Just for this
scenario.
exercise. Now, if you are direct, you're going to eliminate. There's only one that's left, right? It would be the conscientious style, right? That you would have to eliminate. So if you're guarded and you're direct, you're going to be a high D. Eagle. So now if you are open and indirect, you're going to be a dove. Yes. Oh, are you moving?
She's doing the math. She's like,
She's like,
okay.
wait a minute. 2 + 2 is 4 right now. Okay, got it. Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, yes, I would love to have you process of eliminate. So you'll be guarded and indirect. So if you're guarded, which ones are we eliminating? No, we're only doing top to bottom right now, top to bottom. No,
You
nope.
keep that.
You keeping conscientious and dominance because you're guarded. So you keep the ones that say guarded. You're keeping that top portion. You're keeping the top portion. You're eliminating the bottom. Now you only 2 that you have possible is the dominant style and the conscientious style or eagle and owl. Okay. So now that you're saying you said indirect. Okay. So indirect, you're going to eliminate the direct. So now you would be more of a conscientious style. Not like on your paper, you don't have to. But that is how this is an exercise that over time, especially like initially, it sounds a little confusing, right? But the more you practice, this is about practicing and repeating. That's why I wanted you to write it down.
Yeah.
So you can practice this with your kids, practice this with your spouse, practice this with the people that are around you, so that you can identify the process of elimination. Like, okay, this person's guarded. Yes. I'll give one second. Okay. Once you identify, okay, that person is guarded. So I know that they're not going to be a steady or influential style. They're going to be these 2. Now, this person's indirect. Okay. So they're going to be more of a conscious style. Okay. So I know I got to come to them with facts and but now that's the reason why during the time that you're learning and practicing these, you're also learning more in depth about what each of the core personality styles are. So when Coach Brandon was here and he did the personality styles, he's teaching you what they look like. Now I'm teaching you how to identify them.
within yourself first.
Yes, you have to identify it within yourself first.
Absolutely.
If you
have to.
once you,
Because it's easy to look at somebody else.
yep,
Mhm.
It's when you look at yourself, it's
Mm.
yes,
It's a lot harder to shine the mirror on
I'm going.
yourself, right?
and that's more so probably. Let's go. Do you mind if we go over yours? I want to go over yours. I already know what yours is. I already know. So, were you open or guarded?
guarded and
Guarded. Okay.
Guarded.
And were you more direct or indirect?
indirect.
Okay. And I think your secondary style is a steady style.
Mhm.
Why? Because we're going to get into that in a
Mhm.
minute.
Mhm.
We're going to definitely get into why that is. So, question, yes. Conscientious. You're owl. So that would be more logic over reason, more fact finding versus people. People, it's cool, but I'm more of a task oriented person,
Mhm.
and that's what we're about to learn as well. So now that we've identified
Oh, we had a question in the back before.
Oh,
we move
sorry.
forward.
Yeah. Oh yes, I'm so sorry.
The question was actually, because I don't know if everyone had this, but I did. It's like you pick the top or the bottom, left or right.
Yes.
And then once you do that, you still have your letters on the inside. So then my question was, if when you're gonna pick the letters, depending on where you were, if you kitty cross in this way, so you can do the process of elimination. So let's say you have open, so you cross
Why don't you go
out
back?
guarded on the top, but then you have your letters. So then based on that, because it's the let's say direct or indirect, if you go on a cross like this, if you go crisscross this way, like this is a T, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
This is a T. So once you defend, let's say you're on the top guardian, at Miriam said, and then she said she was indirect. To know exactly who she was, then we cross it this way.
No.
Mm-mm.
No. There's no diagonal.
No, when I'm saying like this is to select which one of the birds you are inside the how do you say this? The cross.
Okay. So with the cross, where the process of elimination comes in is if you are, she said guarded, correct? So these don't matter anymore. These don't matter anymore. There's no crossing it. It's only two. So now if you're direct or indirect, if she was more direct, then we're eliminating this.
Does that make sense now? Good.
Okay. Your visual. Yes.
Yes.
And I usually I have like a wand that I'm able to like kind of do that with. And that's another reason why we make sure we got the slides right here. So yes. So process of elimination. Eliminate that and then eliminate that. So you being indirect, we're now eliminating the dominant style as well. Okay.
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
yeah. Fortune
Kind of like
tellers.
that.
These
Yes.
little fortune
So
tellers.
no diagonal yet. Okay.
Mhm.
Yet. So now we're gonna.
Okay, so now I saw where mine.
Okay. So what would
So
yours
what
be?
are you then? You're a parrot.
You're a parrot.
Oh,
Definitely.
okay.
You're definitely a parrot.
Absolutely.
You're definitely an influential style. Okay. So did I clear that up for everybody? That makes more sense.
Does everybody understand? Everybody found their style.
Everybody
right?
found their style.
No.
You did not find your style.
Well, we're
I
gonna
thought
figure
we
it
did
out.
find
Let's
your
figure it out. Let's go back.
Okay, let's go back.
Open and direct.
You're open, and you are direct.
So you're a parrot.
So it's the same. Okay.
You're a parrot.
Based off of what?
Based off of what?
Based off.
What you were saying, that you just open, like you first meet somebody, like open.
Mhm.
I just told her my whole life story. I don't know her name.
Yeah. Yeah.
And direct, you said, I'll just ask you straight up.
Okay, so it's based off of your work environment.
Right.
Mhm.
I was as if we were in a work environment.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
So that would make them a parrot then.
Okay, yes. So I would say with your primary, would make you a parrot. I also see owl.
I was
as
about
well.
to say you definitely
yeah.
exhibit some owl
I see.
tendencies
But
as
mind
well.
you, as we mentioned, you have core styles. You see, I'm two. but I have all four. But which one do you exude, and when is the right time to exude those? Okay.
That's why I put it in that work setting, like you said.
Mhm.
Work setting, that happened.
Mhm.
This is what I would probably do in a work setting.
Perfect. Perfect. And I definitely see that. I definitely see that. So
So he's open direct, right?
yes.
So he is Gov.
No, it would be the opposite way.
It's the
The
opposite.
opposite way. Oh,
Yes.
The yellow.
Yeah, so he's the owl.
No, the yellow.
Oh,
The parrot.
The parrot. He would be more of that influential style.
Yeah, he is opening.
Oh yes, because he's being more open
Mhm.
and he's being direct with it, letting someone know, things are gonna be okay. And if look at the glasses half full type of person
Mhm.
and outlook. And sometimes that can be internal and it can also go off as external as well, which we'll dive into. So any questions on that one before we move forward? I know that was a long exercise. Did it make sense? Extroverted, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Essentially.
And that's where the open and guarded kind of comes in from. Introverted, extroverted. How is that approach? How does that look? Yes. Okay, so identifying those four styles, like what does that look like? So the dominant style, how many of us came out as high Ds? Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay, so there are the risk takers. They're direct, forceful, they're self-reliant, decisive, and competitive. Those are the type of personalities or behaviors that they'll exude. Okay. The influential style, they're influential, trusting, sociable, friendly, optimistic, enthusiastic. They like to see things as half full. Okay. How many of us were steady styles? I don't think we had any steady style.
I think that's what I identify myself. You can tell me if I'm wrong because I was indirect and open.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, that would be steady. Okay. So then I'll be calming, steady, loyal, consistent, relaxed, and patient. And yes, I think that
those things not under stress, but if I'm under stress, some of those I'm not.
it could become and that's the thing with the styles is when we're under stress, our bodies naturally, when we're under stress, go into a fight, flight, or freeze response. And so we could exude characteristics that are outside of us because we're trying to protect ourselves, especially when we're a style such as a steady style. Steady styles have the most, they have the hardest time with stress.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I shut down. Like if it's stressful, like you were saying, if someone throw my whole mojo off, I'm stressed. I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know.
Go revamp for myself so I can bring it back.
Absolutely. And so based off of what she said, if you are working with her, it'd be best to give her that space because she'll come back and she'll be real, real effective. She knows that she can have an opportunity to go and reset. And so that'll make her feel motivated to want to keep going because she knows that if it gets too much for me, I know that my boss, my employee, whatever, is going to allow me the opportunity to be able to recharge. So I'm gonna try to, and sometimes they may even try to push through because they see that you're trying. Okay.
Most of the time, I always push through, but then it got to the point where it caused me to have anxiety and I have to go reset.
Yep. Because your body was trying to fight. And what it's doing is it ends up fighting itself. Because we're fighting against it like, no, I'm fine. And it's like, no, you're not. I'm trying to tell you you're not. Go calm down somewhere. But if we as employers are able to help identify that, how do you think if someone was able to do that for you, if you would have had that opportunity, you probably wouldn't even want to be a business owner because you'd be like, they care about me. They're invested in me. And you want to find employees for your business that not only are going to just work your business, let them be your loyal brand champions. Let them be the ones that's going to say, hey, I've been with her for 15 years. I'm retiring at 30 years with this company. I invested my life into her vision, into his dream, into their goals. That's why we become business owners. We don't want to see a revolving door. So we got to make sure that our employee engagement is key at the core and the forefront of our business so that they can be great, loyal brand champions and retain that top talent within the organization for long periods of time. Okay. Awesome. Okay. So with the conscientious style, they are analytical, systematic, courteous, precise, focused, fact-finding. They want to know, what are the Carfax? I understand what you're saying, but where did you learn that? Where did you get that from? It has to make sense. 1 + 1 has to equal 2 with a conscientious style. Or now. Yes.
Well, I can see all 4 of the birds possibly.
Oh yeah. We're gonna get to everything. When there's good, there's always a not so good. Okay. And that's what I love about the assessment is that it tells you in a non-biased way your strengths and your weaknesses. Because of course everybody want to hear everything good about themselves. But what can I improve on? If I tell you, you're gonna think I'm a hater. But if you take this assessment and they get a chance to tell you, hey, we see some room for improvement here, it's up to you to be able to work on it. I know there was a point in time where I was so dead set on, I want to be a dominant style. So I started working intentionally to up my ego. And I got there. Took me like 8 months. I started doing all these like delegation practices and the way that I was responding to people was more so like I was intentional. When I got there, I hated it. Because it's just not. It was like, for me, I was like, I don't like being so short with people. Like, I'm like, I feel most comfortable in an environment that provides me the opportunity to listen. So the great thing is the people that are naturally they naturally know how to do that. So what I decided to do was I have now learned to, now that I know that I could do it, I now know when to turn it on. So if you see me out here with the task oriented, I'm in my ego. But I can only use it for a short amount of time. I cannot live in it. I have to just be it for the circumstance. I have to be situational with it. Okay.
It's like a battery.
Yeah.
Right?
It is. Yeah.
When you're functioning outside of your natural state, you only have a finite amount of time to function in that space. I like to think of it like a battery or even a muscle. She said she trained 8 months. If you worked out for 8 months, you'll see a drastic change in your physical appearance, right? It's the same concept. She worked out her dominant aspects, strengthened her dominant aspects. Now she has that. What happens when you work out and you stop working out and then you bump back in it? It's a little easier to get back to where you were originally, right? Because you had that latent potential already existed and built within you, right? That muscle memory. Exactly. So she developed the muscle memory or the latent ability to be able to tap into her dominance when she needs to. But remember, because we don't work that out often, we have a battery. We have a finite amount of time.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. So knowing and identifying them is going to be key of when you need to turn yours on and when you turn them off. Okay. Okay. So now we're going to talk about pace and priority of each of the tasks, as I mentioned, each of the styles. As I mentioned before, who's task oriented, who's people oriented, who's more of faster pace and who's more of a reserve pace, right? Okay. So when we have our pace challenges, who likes to go, who's more of it like a want to go. It's going to be those dominant styles and the influential styles. They're the ones that are going to move more faster. They'll make more impulsive decisions. They're the ones that's going to more think before, or they're going to speak before they think. because they want to be able to have that result. They see results driven ideas and they're creative and they can be able to say, hey, I think this is a great idea. Let's do this. Or this is a great opportunity. Let's jump on it. I'll give you one of actually our story.
Mhm.
So how me and Dr. King met, we met at a coffee and commerce at the Urban Chamber. And so they told us to go around and introduce ourselves. And we introduced ourselves like, hey, we should, meet up for coffee. So we went and had coffee. And as we're talking, he gives me this. I told him what I was certified in. So I'm certified in this. And then we started looking more so towards other things. And he was like, do you know that you can do this with this certification that you have? And I'm like, really? I didn't know that. I was like, I'll get back to you on that. So I was like, let's set up another meeting. We'll set up another meeting the next week. I came to him with a full business plan because I went and did my research and he was right. So he was like, great, that's awesome. I'll support you in everything you want to do with it. And I said, you can support me or you can be my partner with it. I was like, you gave me the idea. So, I mean, I'm going to give you the opportunity to work with me. And then he's like, let me think about it for a second. Next week, he came back and said, you know what? Yeah, I'll do it. And I was like, well, what made you want to do it? He said, well, because I have a high feeling you're going to do it regardless. He's like, so why not just jump on in this with you as well? He's like, and I know what I can be able to bring to the table. And I'll tell you this, after we signed all of our paperwork, I then found out what all this man does. And I was like, whoa, I probably would have been too intimidated to even ask him if I knew what I know now. Yeah. To know that he had secured over $2 million in grants, that he had a doctorate in organizational leadership. I was like, on the board, chair of North Las Vegas Library District. I'm like, so when are you going to tell me this? But both of us were working in our dominant styles. He was working in his high D. I was working in my high I. I went back and did my research in my high C and brought all this information back to convince him that you need to work with me. I'm so glad I didn't know this information before, because we probably would not be sitting here. So, but because we both work at faster paces, we were able to make a decision that now has led us here to having this incredible opportunity of working with you all and working with all the businesses a part of the TBI program.
Yes.
So, yeah. So, yes, exactly. Yes. And then, but there are also more reserved ones. They're the ones that need to, like the conscientious style and the steady style, they need time to think things through. Mm-hmm. We need to give them that time. We need to say, hey, you know what? I get it. You need some time to think about it. Or, hey, I'm instead of like throwing 5 or 10 different things on them, give them one task. See how long it takes for them to produce. Then see how much more of a load you can be able to give to them. Because when they get overwhelmed, they shut down. Both of the styles. And even with the conscientious style, it's not that they're shutting down. It's that they're going to double check and triple check and quadruple check because they hate being wrong. Don't tell me I didn't do something right. I looked it over. I'm not wrong. You're wrong. And if I'm wrong, you show me where I was wrong. That's what I was telling you. Yeah. So we just have to, we once we pay attention to those types of pace and priorities, we're able to understand each other, understand that me being fast paced and another piece of me being more reserved pace, it can bring conflict and tension if you don't know. So the more we know, the more we can grow, right? Okay. So with task-oriented stuff, who's more task-oriented? Who's more people-oriented? Okay. So the more task-oriented people are the conscientious and the dominant styles. So that's different, right? Even though conscientious is going to go slower, they're going to be focused on the task. And even though the steady style is going to think, they're going to be more reserved in their approach, they're going to be thinking about the people behind it. How did they feel? How did they, what motivated them? What was driven for them? The dominant style is going to, they're great at delegation. So they're going to delegate the task without thinking about the people in mind. The influential style, the parrot, they're going to be the ones that's going to think about, is everybody having fun? Is everybody enjoying themselves? What do you need to be able, so that we can make sure that people feel good? It's not about what they said, it's about how you made them feel. That's how they operate, okay? So you want to think about task-oriented people, people-oriented people, more pace reserved, faster pace, or slower pace, okay? So this is where the challenge comes in. The dominant style and the steady style could bump heads. Because, why?
I would say because like the dominant style would want the steady style to like do something like right now. The steady style like you got to take time and take this time to get in that space.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Nail on the head. The dominant style is going to delegate the task. Hey, I need this done by 5 o'clock. The steady style is going to be like, I wish you would think I'm going to do something at 5 o'clock. It's 3. But they're going to do it. They're not going to say it. The steady style is not going to verbally have that come out of their mouth. But they're going to call their friend. They can call their friend and say, I'm stressed out and somebody just stressed. I just need to reset. We're trying to eliminate that opportunity. But then you also got conscientious style and influential style. Conscientious style is a more task-oriented. The influential style is more opinionated. The conscientious style, the owl's going to be like, I don't care. I really don't. Okay, that's fine. It's fine. You care that it's fine. You care that Dr. King didn't get a chance to be able to speak his piece, but based off of what we're talking about right now, that doesn't even matter. So what it can do, it can cause conflict because based off of point of views and opinions. And the conscientious style wants to get right down to work. The influential style, that's really the last thing they want to do. They're like, why? Let's go have some fun. or let's enjoy talking. So you got any kids? You got a pet? How's your day? They might look, I'm trying to work. Conscious style, I'm trying to work. What are we doing? And that can come off as, oh, he's rude. She's rude. And they go say, the conscientious style could say about the influential style is you don't care about your job. When they really do care. It's just that what's of priority to the others can be conflicting in the workplace. Okay. So
I know what this reminds me of.
what?
It's like a theme. I worked in retail for years
Mhm.
in merchandising. And I always thought about this because this is how I work. When managers place people in certain places to manage, to take care of the store, you'll put somebody who's slow and something that really needs to get fast. I'm like, you wonder why things don't get done because this person works at this type of pace.
Yep.
You put somebody who's talkative at the register, you want them to move, but
that's not where they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be out there helping get the clothes. They're out there supposed to be helping sell the stuff. Placed in the right seats at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's knowing and identifying that, you as employers, you now got a magic sauce to say, hey, I can tell you're a steady style. I'm gonna need you more of like customer service. Get the upset people so that you can help calm them down. I definitely don't want no parrot on that phone. The parrot gonna talk back. The eagle gonna hang up. And then the conscientious style is gonna say, well, if you go to the website, we're not wrong. You're wrong. The parent is gonna talk back. And I'm like, well, excuse me, ma'am. I'm sorry, you don't have to say it so loud.
Mhm.
Why you gotta say that tone? That's you gotta make sure you know where to place them. But a steady style will listen to everything you're gonna say. I understand. I will relay this information to whom I need to relay it to. I'm so sorry about your experience. Please leave me some stars. I'm gonna have a survey for you later. Thank you. Those mean a lot to me. Thank you.
Yeah.
You got comments online. Danielle Goodwin says, "Leave us parents alone."
No, we love the parents in the retail space. When y'all are out there
Exactly.
talking to the customers, engaging the customers, like,
And-
oh, I had a wonderful
and
experience.
actually-
I talked to Danielle and she showed me everything that I needed to know. You know,
Absolutely. And shout out to the Taste Juice Bar. That's who that is, Danielle Goodwin.
Yeah.
She and she is a parent. She wants to, she's in front of people. She's not afraid to come and walk right up to you and say
Mhm.
hello. But it's so inviting. But if you know it's a parent and you know that, but she also can tell if it's more of a steady style as well.
Mhm.
And so it's more of a hi, how you doing versus a I'm a hugger. That's how you can really identify who's a parent and who's not. If they say I'm a hugger, they got some form of the parent in them right
That's
then and
me.
there.
I'm a parent.
I'm a hugger.
well.
I'm a hugger. So, yes, shout out to Danielle. Thank you. Yes, and I'm a
Thank you.
parent too. So we got to
No,
give our love.
absolutely,
We got to give our love.
absolutely.
So yes, identifying those styles for the pace and priority. Did that all make sense? Right. Okay. Good. The style indicators. Okay. So we're going to talk about the needs, the emotions, and the fears of each of the styles. And I'm going to run through this, okay? Because I know I have no idea what
Yeah,
time.
we have 12 minutes, 18 minutes left.
Jeez.
Yeah.
You see you see how many
know.
slides we got?
I know.
So we're going to have to do it's a lot. Okay, but are you guys enjoying
we
the information that we're
We're-
giving?
Awesome.
Okay, great. So we're probably going to end up doing a part 2 of this when we start back on next week, okay? And then I'll make sure that you'll get everything that you need for week 4, no worries. But this is my jam.
Yes.
Yep, because you can't change your style.
Yes.
She's like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry? Good, yes.
When you're doing a job or when you're doing your work, you portray it and others can see it, sense it, feel it, and they will go through with it. And that's what you're doing. You're actually expressing your work. We can feel the emotion, we can feel the love, and that's why we received it and we can understand better.
Thank you. Thank you.
I appreciate that.
I appreciate that. Yes, this is definitely a passion of mine. And my goal is to be able to, my BHAG, my big, hairy, audacious goal is to be able to get this out to the masses. I want people to know when they know Tiffany Ward, they know that she knows people. So yes. We got spots available for trainers. I'm opening up. Actually, yes, I am opening up a training course for a train the trainer. I'll train you on DISC and how to utilize this in your practices. Okay.
Love
so,
it.
Well,
love
we'll
it.
get there. We'll get there. We'll definitely get there. We'll
get
focus
there.
on the TBI
Yes,
right now.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to be talking about the needs, emotions, and fears of each of them. So the high D style, the ego style, their biggest needs is challenges to solve, and they like authority. So they're the ones that are the key people that say initially, I'll apply for a job, and I want to be the manager. I want to be the supervisor. I want to be the leader. They're the ones that does that. Their biggest emotion is anger and impatience, though. But that's how high. If their high D is more of a needs motivation versus just observation, it can come off as aggressive. So, but it's because they're assertive. It's because they're so passionate about what they're talking about, and they've already thought about the problems that need to solve or that needs to be solved, and you're not listening. I know the solution. You're not listening, so you're the problem.
Sometimes that's mother and child.
Yes,
Mhm.
and yes,
Absolutely.
they're big on making sure that their voices are heard. Okay, because they have that fear of being taken advantage of, because they can have that lack of confidence. They want to make sure that they know what they know because they know what they know. Okay, So, any questions about the dominant style?
When I'm coaching, I ask my clients, they may not know, but I always ask when's their birthday because I'm an astrologer. So that reminds me of like, I like to pair what their birthday is into exactly
Each of the styles. Yeah. And I think they are too. Definitely a Leo. All the fire signs, really. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, that would be those dominant styles, those would be key styles. So the influential style, the parrot. So they're more people in contact. So they like social relationships. They like friendly environments. They're the people that like to when they're the ones that walk in the room, they're like, hey, how you doing? And everybody knows who they are. You know, what do they say? What's the cheer song? Where everybody knows your name. Yep. That's how a parrot wants to be known. Okay. Their biggest thing is they have the optimism and trust. They trust things, but they're the ones that can get their feelings hurt really, really easy because they like social approval. They're the ones that like they don't want to be left out. They don't, if everybody else knows that there's a potluck and they want to be the first one to come in with their food prepared because they've been preparing it all night. But if you tell them that it was somebody's birthday the next day, they're gonna get offended. It's gonna hurt their feelings. Like, why didn't nobody else tell me about the birthday party? I mean, I'd have got the streamers. I got some jams out in the car myself. That's not. So they want to feel included. They like social recognition. They like people. They are the people's people of all of the core styles. So the highest pace and consistency. One of their needs is systems, teams, a stable environment. They have patience. Their emotions is patience and non-expression. That's their biggest expression. They're the ones that they have the biggest poker face. You cannot tell if a high S is bothered. They're the unbothered. Omarion, he a high S. He is king unbothered. Yes.
So I think I'm a dove, but you said when we did the cross elimination, I'm an owl.
You gotta take the assessment, okay? But that would be an owl would be your core primary style, and then you have your secondary. So you usually have two. So like me, I'm a parrot, but my parrot is like high. My owl or my conscientious is that's my core. That's why I'm able to sit here and be able to talk. Because like if I was an owl first, I wouldn't be able to do it. I wouldn't. I would be like, I would rather write it down for somebody else to relay it. That's how more of the conscientious style is. But you do have your secondary style. Which one is expressed at this point? So based off of your work environment, you are more fact finding. You want more data driven information. You wanted to make it make sense before you would say, hey, I'm worried about the people. I'm worried about, making sure everybody else is happy. That would be your secondary. Okay. Yes. So their biggest expression with the dove is non-expression. So they have that poker face. They're the ones that like to, you ain't gonna see me sweat. Okay. But because one of their biggest fears is sudden change and loss of stability or security, they want to know that everything's going to be all right. The pandemic, doves had it the worst.
Actually, me, I did it. I was like, oh, I can use this to make money. That's how I thought about it.
Because you were probably using your parrot too. Okay, yeah. And mind you, you're in a different mindset now. Yeah. So you may be a dove now that you probably were more so a parrot back then.
Yeah. And that,
right. Is that your bird, dove and parrot?
Where was it?
I could tell she's a dove and a parrot.
She's a dove and a parrot.
Yeah, I could tell she's a dove and a parrot. Yeah. And dove, they're the stewardess. Doves are all airline attendants. They're high S's for sure. Yeah. So even with I'll breeze through this really quick, and then we'll stop right here because we have it was supposed to be an activity on the next one. So I'll open it up for questions after this. But then the high C, they like procedures and constraints because they need rules to follow, data to analyze. It has to make sense. What does it say on this paper? I hear what you're saying, but what does it say on this paper? And in Employee Handbook, Chapter 7, Page 2, Section C says that you can't do this to me. Okay? That's what they are. And that is why us as HR consultants need you as employers to have all your paperwork in order because they're going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a high percentage of people that are a high C.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to pay attention to all of the details because as soon as you make them mad, you're going to have to pull out this paperwork. But that's why InspireWorks got y'all. Okay. The parent don't care.
They're not
They
care.
gonna look at it and they're gonna say, okay,
That's
I'll sign
nice.
it. Okay, I'll sign it.
Yeah.
It's fine. Okay,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
you said we're gonna get champagne because we're gonna be celebrating. Oh yay, I work here now. Yay. That is how a parent's gonna work. Yeah, no. But the reason why they do that is because their biggest fear is fear and concern, or their biggest emotion is fear and concern. They worry. They worry about being correct. They worry about, is everything is this what I'm doing? Is it going to be effective? Am I giving enough information? I probably drive him nuts every time we do a training because I have all this paperwork. I'm like, look, I gotta print out this and I gotta print out that. He's like, do you think we need to print? I was like, they're gonna love it. They're like, because nobody else is doing it because we have like a lot of paperwork for them. So yeah. But see, and that's right.
Yes,
Which bird are you? Because the biggest thing about a conscientious style, they don't like being criticized. They don't like being told, like, you didn't do good. That wasn't good. And so it makes them feel like failures, even though you may just be trying to give them constructive criticism. They're like, dang, I don't care what nothing else you're talking about right now. You said I did bad. No, this is a owl. This is an owl. Oh no, a parent will tell you just a hater. They're like, you're just hating. I'm cool. I like everything is okay. Anything can be fixed. Yep. But a conscientious style is gonna say, oh my God, I should have fixed it. Mm-hmm. I wish I would have took more time to think about it so I could have fixed it. They need more time to double check and triple check and quadruple check. Mm-hmm. Okay. So me as an owl, I've learned not to be as hard on myself. So I learned to give myself grace. Yes. And it's like, it's okay. You're going to be okay. And he actually utilizes my style by stopping and telling me, let's dial it back. You're okay. Yeah, you're okay. It's okay. It's okay. Yes, I don't know why I was blessed with him, but I am blessed. I feel blessed to have him as a business partner. He has become a friend. We literally started in business. Mm-hmm. And now it is like he's family. So, and it's because, So, and that's the thing. You want to become family with the people you're working with. Yeah. You want to become that. And this is how you're able to do it. Understanding them and teaching them how to understand you. You don't have to tell them this is who I am. No, you got the superpower. You can be all of it. Yep. So the goal is, if anything, I want you all to take some time this week, and I'm going to give you a little homework. I want you to think about what style you want to be today and act in that style based off of what you've learned. And if you want more information about each of the styles and the core personalities, I can easily send you guys over some information. Just email me or ask Elias, and I will get that information printed out for you. Yes.
Would it be good to practice on your lowest one?
Yes, but I would like for you all to get if you can, I want to set up an opportunity for y'all to get an assessment first so you know for sure, because I don't want you to do it based off of just the exercise, because we want to know exactly where you are so we can know where you would like to go. Yeah. And we can help get you there effectively.
Exactly. This is like a 5,000 foot view, right?
Yes.
This exercise, this workshop is just to give you a 5,000 foot view. It's like, oh, I kind of see. When you're in a plane, you can still kind of see the houses, right? But you can't see the detail of the houses, right? The disc assessment, you're right there at the door.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Knocking. You understand now, right? And that's what that assessment will help you do.
Yeah. Okay. You get. I have opportunities for you to.
Class that we had, you had told us that you were gonna send it out to us so we could get the assessment. You asked us if we wanted to, and then we all said yes to do the assessment.
So the actual assessment. I said that.
I wasn't here for that.
Yeah. Okay. So the assessment is it is a third party tool. So it's not something that I just have, but I am able to teach you how to.
I think what she's saying is because Brandon, he was telling us he can give us the assessment. I think
Brandon said, oh yeah, because I don't remember saying.
Yeah.
Something like he can do the assessment through Elias or something in that nature, like that.
Yeah, we're gonna do an assessment.
Like in your
the future.
program.
Okay.
Okay, so if he's going to do that one, then we could probably do it where I'll do the emotional intelligence one. So they won't have the because if they're going to learn it, I wouldn't want them to have pretty much two of the same assessments. You know what I mean? So we can so who would be interested in emotional intelligence? Okay, so then I will work with Elias on getting that one to you, and we'll have Coach Brandon do the disc. Okay.
So we don't have the assessment to go take the test. Okay.
You will eventually.
Yeah.
We will make sure that happens. But until then, that's why I wanted to make sure you were equipped with knowing an exercise of how to identify it. Okay. And now, so I say utilize what you have received today.
Mhm.
Practice it on your family. Use it on your kids. I think the only one you can't do is your dogs. I don't think it works for pets. I don't think. I haven't done that one yet. But
well, dogs actually adapt the personality of their owner, so you can kind of have a rough idea of who your dog is.
Yeah, that's true.
Just like my husband.
Yeah.
That makes sense. What you guys said.
Yeah.
That really does make sense.
Yeah. So what did you think of today's session so far?
Good. Thank you.